Across the country, radical lawmakers are pushing legislation that will allow non citizens, even illegal immigrants, to become law enforcement officers. And this isn't just theoretical, this is actually happening in states like California, Colorado, Illinois, and even Washington. But now, for the first time, we are seeing a federal effort to fight back. Hey everyone, I'm Julie Barrett and I'm the founder of Conservative Ladies of America. And if you've been watching our channel for a while, you probably remember when we were talking about Washington State's Senate Bill 5068 that was going through the legislature this year. The bill passed unanimously through the Washington State Senate, but it died in the House. This is the bill that removed the citizenship requirement for people to become law enforcement officers, prosecutors, and even firefighters in Washington State. We've been sounding the alarm since this bill dropped, but let's take a quick recap. This bill allows non-citizens, including DACA recipients and asylum seekers, to become law enforcement officers in Washington State. It removes the citizenship requirement entirely from public safety and legal positions. And as I mentioned, it passed unanimously through the Senate. That means all 19 Republican senators voted along with Democrats to allow non-citizens to be law enforcement officers in Washington State. Now, Washington isn't the only state that's doing this. You've got California, Colorado, and Illinois already have laws like this on the books. Back in March, when Senate Bill 5068 was moving through the legislature, I did a live stream video with Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank, and he said, allowing non-citizens to enforce laws on American citizens is a step too far. And he is vowing that if this bill passes, he will not be hiring non-citizens to work in the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Now, this trend began in Washington State in 2024 with Senate Bill 6157. This allowed DACA recipients to apply for civil service roles. The Seattle Police Department quickly jumped on the bandwagon, hiring non-citizens on their police force. And this caught national attention, which spurred the legislation that we're going to get to in just a moment. But here's the thing you need to know with Senate Bill 6157. It almost unanimously passed through the Senate. Only one Republican senator voted no. And on the House side, it passed with strong bipartisan support. Only 11 Republicans voted no. Let's take a look at what other states are doing as far as legislation to allow non-citizens to become law enforcement officers. In California, laws have already been passed. A work visa, however, is required. In Colorado, there is no citizenship requirement to become a law enforcement officer. In Illinois, House Bill 3751 passed, making DACA recipients eligible to be law enforcement officers. We've already covered Washington State with Senate Bill 6157 in 2024. Virginia has a similar law to Illinois, and Wisconsin has proposed legislation. Now, with Wisconsin, they have a Republican governor, so it's possible that this could be vetoed if it were to be passed through the legislature. It could be vetoed by the governor. However, as we've seen with Washington State, these bills have strong bipartisan support. And this should be one of the biggest red flags for citizens. Why are Republicans supporting policies that allow non-citizens to enforce laws on American citizens? This is not about immigration. It's about constitutional integrity and the basic principle that only American citizens should be granted the authority to enforce American laws. Law enforcement officers swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. How do we expect someone who isn't even legally bound to our Constitution to uphold it? Now, this is where federal leadership is stepping in. Congresswoman Kat Cammack from Florida has introduced the Citizen-Only Police Act, H.R. 4783. This would prohibit any law enforcement agency that hires non-citizens from receiving federal funds. It's straightforward, it's constitutional, and it's long overdue. In her press release, Congresswoman Cammack said, "It's unconscionable that we're even considering hiring aliens, including aliens who entered this country illegally to serve in law enforcement." Now let that sink in. We have legislators, even Republican legislators, who are willing to allow people who broke our laws to come here to enforce laws on American citizens. H.R. 4783 is an excellent bill, and I truly hope that now that we have a majority in the House and the Senate, this is something that can be moved forward at this time. And if you happen to be in a blue state like Washington, California, Colorado, and you have Republican congresspeople, such as in Washington, you've got Dan Newhouse in the 4th district, you've got Michael Baumgartner in the 5th district. You should be calling those people and asking them to co-sponsor the COPS Act. One of the big things that we have seen in the last 6 months since Trump took office is that blue states are doubling down on their anti-American policies, and they're doing everything that they can to protect immigrants, giving them more rights, more services, more benefits. And we cannot have Republicans getting on board with a policy that will allow immigrants to enforce laws on American citizens. This is a huge deal, and it will have huge repercussions as we move forward as a nation. The COPS Act at a federal level would be a huge step in discouraging these blue states from enacting these laws. However, I want to make sure we're all aware that with these laws will absolutely come more lawsuits from blue states, because they seem to love to spend their taxpayer money fighting the Trump administration. I'm going to have links to more information about these kinds of policies. Specifically, I will have information for our Washington people about Senate Bill 5068, as this bill is not dead. Washington operates on a biennium. So just because Senate Bill 5068 didn't pass in 2025, it will automatically be reintroduced in 2026. And it's imperative that you ask your Republican legislators not to support this legislation. Please be sure to share this video far and wide. It's important that all Americans understand what is happening with these kinds of policies. Also, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and leave us a comment, as that does help the YouTube algorithm and lets other people see our content. And if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.